In the Wasted series, we usually talk about characters that show promise in the first few appearances. However, recently or at the end of the show, they never really got to reach their full potential or are still trying to find themselves in the show that they're in. However, the same can be said for the shows too, as Tokyo Ghoul and Promised Neverland honestly just peaked in our first season. However, on today's episode of Wasted, we're going to be talking about an anime that honestly just peaked on its first episode, and that's just due to controversy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the Rising of the Shield Hero. Now, I'll be real, I actually like the first season of ShieldHero a lot, but you gotta be real, it honestly did peak at its first episode. It's an anime that gave birth to one of the most hated characters that caused the most controversial scene, possibly in anime history, and honestly, it's not even the anime's fault. It's literally just bad timing on Funimation's part. But to keep things quick, I'm gonna make like a minute review of the first episode. Naofumi Iwatani reads a book in a library and gets transported to another world like any other Isekai does. It's also in a medieval setting, just like any Isekai is, and it was transported with 3 other guys that were in different universes of Earth. And they were called the 4 cardinal heroes, even though the other 3 were just ass. But they're not important ever, so yeah. We have a bow, spear, sword, and shield hero, and of course, since Naofumi's supposed to be like the underdog or some shit, he's the shield hero, and nobody chooses him as a squad captain because he has a shield. Who the fuck attacks with the shield? So someone from the spear hero squad, mine, comes up to him and says, well, you know what, let's team up. They gain chemistry, they talk to each other, they're crewmates now, and Naofumi believes he gained a friend, and next thing you know, nigga gets all his clothes taken away, gets swatted, and gets framed for sexual assault. Which mine makes the most infamous face in possibly anime history, ruining the protagonist's life, as she hides behind the spear hero, as that nigga is oblivious as fuck. The reason this episode is controversial is because during the same time of the first episode's release, Funimation was having their own sexual issues, as VicMignogna was accused of sexual harassment from the names of Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi. And due to Twitter being fucking stupid, they automatically thought that these two linked. But it was just terrible timing on the ShieldHero release's part. And it makes no sense to me because there was a light novel and a manga beforehand, but we're not even gonna talk about that. We're anime only. That first episode, that whole concept is fucking beautiful. It's just the situation outside, it just ruined it. But there's a second reason why this show fell off. Later on, Naofumi becomes this edgy, dark guy because society's picturing him as a pervert and a sexual abuser or whatever, and he's like, you know, if society's gonna look at me as the villain, I might as well play the villain type shit. So he enslaves Reptalia and Philo, and those two become great characters as well, and they see the good in Naofumi. They see that he's a good guy, and even Mine's sister Melty even sees him as a good guy as well later down the line, and where he reaches a new objective in trying to get his reputation back. If we fast forward a little bit, yes, he saves the whole world or some shit like that, and you know, he gets his reputation back by getting revenge on Mine and her father, which turns out to be the king. And instead of an execution, which was about to happen, he says, you know what, let me humiliate these motherfuckers real quick. I'm gonna name this asshole trash and this bitch. The comeback story of the ages. It literally defines the title, The Rising of the Shield Hero. But now that we talk about the title, the real reason why this show failed is that they announced a season 2 and a season 3 before the first season even finished. So I'm thinking like early 20s, like, how can you not end off this? This is like one of the most perfect things to end off of. Sure, the show's not perfect, but this could have been a really good standalone season for a show like this. It's a man who transfers into another world with, out of the 4 weapons he can get, he gets the weakest one. But he gets accused of something that he didn't even do. Then, as people start to see the light in him, he saves the freaking world and gets revenge on the people that put him in the situation in the first place. If you just ended it right there, that would have been one of the best comeback stories in anime history. But no, you continue the show, and I understand that the manga and light novel continue afterwards anyway, but I feel like if you just stopped right there, the title, The Rising of the Shield Hero, would actually have some meaning to it, because it's a fucking comeback story. But now the second season, as expected, is ass cheeks. There's a freaking tortoise as the antagonist? That makes no freaking sense! And for some weird reason, Naofumi's still edgy, even though he gets his reputation back. I don't know, man. I just want to end it off right there before I get mad even more. You guys can watch season 2 yourselves if you want to see some disappointment. But as always, I appreciate y'all for looking out for these videos. If you like the video, like it, subscribe if you are new to the channel and want to see more of my content. Share it with your friends and comment so you can talk to me and join the Discord, blah, blah, blah. Catch y'all later. Deuces.